Okay, my name is Ralph Chou. I'm the president of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada Toronto Centre, and I'm here to talk with you about how to observe the sun safely, which is one of my professional and personal astronomical interests. Many of you probably used devices like this last August to look at the sun during the solar eclipse, and they are great for looking at eclipses because all you're really looking at then is when the sun turns into a crescent. But when you want to look at something more close up at the sun, you need a little bit more help. The previous speaker talked about using binoculars, and that's certainly a good way to look at the sun with a bit of magnification, but the problem is that you have to make sure that your eyes are properly protected, otherwise you can do yourself some damage. And there are a number of different ways to do that. I do have here a pair of binoculars that's been specially modified, and these are available for sale, where the lenses of the binoculars have actually been treated with a coating so that it is actually safe to use these to look at the sun. You get a very nice magnified view. In this case, it's a 10 times magnification of the sun, and it allows you to see moderate-sized sunspots very, very nicely. If you have larger binoculars that of your own that you've used for bird watching or what have you, then there's also a way to use those effectively for looking at the sun, and that's to use specially designed filters that are mounted like this, that can go onto the front of the binoculars, and once they're in place, they provide the protection for you. And so your ordinary binoculars can be adapted with these types of filters to give you a safe view of the sun pretty much any time. And then, of course, the other thing to do is to think about getting a telescope with an appropriate solar filter, and that's one thing that is going on today that you'll see around here on the grounds. We have a number of different telescopes that have been equipped with filters that will allow you to get a safe view of the sun with much, much higher magnification. Now, all of these types of devices allow you to take a look at the sun in what we call white light. So you're using pretty much all of the visible light that comes from the sun, and they give you a nice, safe, magnified view. We do have a couple of specially adapted telescopes, however, that give us an entirely different view of the sun. Using these special filters, we can isolate light that comes from atomic hydrogen, and for the sun, that originates from a part of the atmosphere of the sun that is just above the glowing surface that we associated with looking at the sun with white light. And that's a very, very interesting part of the sun, because even though we don't see anything going on perhaps in white light, when we take a look at the sun in that light of hydrogen alone, it turns out that the sun is always active. There's a lot of action going on, sort of like a pot boiling in this layer of hydrogen gas that you can observe with these specially set up telescopes. The thing is that 50 years ago, when I became an amateur astronomer, those kinds of devices were almost unaffordable to people. You had to spend, back then, thousands of dollars to get that kind of special filter to get a view of the sun in the light of hydrogen. Nowadays, you can get a small telescope for less than $600 that will do that job for you. And it's a nice portable instrument that anybody can use. Again, we have a number of examples of that kind of device that are being demonstrated today. And I do encourage you to take a look at those devices, because if you would like to get into looking at the sun as a part of starting astronomy, it's a really easy and relatively inexpensive way to do it and get a lot out of it. Previous speaker talked about citizen science and the importance of amateur observations looking at various astronomical objects. Well, the same thing is true of the sun, and certainly a lot of people are interested in monitoring the sun to see what the activity is like and to photo document it. And there are easy ways to do that. And again, it can lead into a great hobby. Sometimes it can lead into a great career. And so, as part of our effort here at the observatory, I hope that you will take advantage of the programs and of the demonstrations that we offer and take a look and see whether it is something for you. All of our volunteers are here to talk with you, and we do encourage you to chat with us and learn more about astronomy as a hobby and learn more about what we do in observing the universe and enjoying it. So thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy the rest of the day, and again, have a good time here. Thanks again.